Hey guys, how's it going here? We're just waiting for Sheik to come in here and then we'll hop on and start the live. You guys watching the Thursday night game right now? Who do you guys think's gonna win the game? Send some comments and let's see how it's going. Yeah, so right here, what we're gonna do first, just while we have everyone, is we're gonna do a giveaway. So if you just screenshot this post and tag our alt account, alt XYZ official, then and repost it to your story, you'll be entered to win a chance at $50 alt credit. Let's see, we're trying to get here from trying to get in from Sheik. Just give him another minute. One second here. Who are your guys' favorites teams so far in the NBA? Have you guys been impressed with anyone so far? I know for me, I'm a huge Warrior fan from the Bay Area, so I love watching Steph and Clay play. Those guys are so fun. Tough loss the other day from the Suns, but we'll make it through. We'll give Sheik another minute here, and then we'll get started. It's nice to see some familiar faces in here from you guys. Yeah, Sheik does love Brunson. He's also a huge LeBron fan. He just moved to LA actually, so he's gonna go try and watch a couple games of. He's gonna go try and watch a couple games of LeBron go play. I'll just start it right here for now, and then when Sheik hops in, we can get going. As I mentioned, there's going to be an alt giveaway of $50 alt credit. So once you screenshot this page and come on and tag us in the video, then we can. Here he is, right here. What's up, Sheik?
How's it going?
Good. I just told everyone about the giveaway. So, if you repost and tag a screenshot and repost this to your story and tag alt XYZ official, you'll have a chance to win $50 alt credit that you can use on the next auction or in the exchange or whatever you want to do. Shipping a card, whatever you want to do there. But I figured we can just get started. I just told them my name is Brendan. I've been on here a couple times before, but if any of you guys don't know me, I'm one of the card experts here and on the sourcing team. So I buy and sell trade cards all the time. And Sheik, I work with Sheik pretty often. He's one of our expert pricers as well and runs the modeling team for alt value. So it's nice to have him join me.
Yeah, so like Brendan stated, my name is Kaushik Mohan. I go with the Iron Sheik on Instagram. And I'm excited to talk about what's upcoming in the liquid auctions. But before we get there, I want to let you all know that Matt Levine, aka National Treasurer, is actually on site in Nashville. So if you're going to the Nashville show, feel free to stop and say hi. He'll be taking cards in for consignment, taking cards in for vaulting. Feel free to please stop by and say hi and ask any question you might think could be important.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Chris Jackson, who some of you guys know, will also be there. So go say hi to them. They're good guys, and you can talk some cards with them. And
Exactly.
they'll also be in Dallas as well the following week. So if you guys are going to Dallas, you can find them there as well.
Yep, and Chris is local to Nashville, so that's like his backyard.
Yeah, so just want to jump into it. Sheik, we have some pretty cool cards this auction. One of the favorites so far, and most iconic card, I think, is the Jordan Fleer PSA 10. If you want to talk a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so guys, this is the first Jordan Fleer PSA 10 we've ever run on alt liquid options. We've been now over a year in liquid options, so this is the first time it's getting auctioned off. Um, the card, went through a lot of different price points. It was under 100K for a very long time. Got all the way up to $750,000, and then now it is starting to settle back down. With this card, I think it's really important to note for everyone that not all 10s are equal. And I can't stress that enough. There are some PSA 10 Jordan Fleers that look better than the other, and they should be bought for more prices. So just kind of like how vintage baseball is, not all prices are equal for that grade. Same thing should go along with this. I expect this card to end anywhere between like 165 to potentially, $200,000. It's going to be somewhere in that range. It's pretty steady Eddie, and it has about, I think, over 300 in its pop.
Yeah, that's a good call for sure. I mean, some of them have like better color, just bolder, stronger than others. So this one will be a fun one to watch as well. I'm excited to run our first Jordan Fleer card on alt auctions. And it's a heavy basketball one for us. We're also running the Kobe Bryant credentials, BGS 9.5. I expect that one to do pretty well as well.
Yeah.
That one I expect to probably end, sort of the 160-ish range to 180 range. I think, Kobe's an iconic player. I think he's been getting slept on for a while. The vintage market is kind of interesting too. Those guys aren't playing anymore. So I feel like their value, and especially in today's market, you see like Mac Jones slipping, you see like Zach Wilson slipping, you see like all these guys going down, but Kobe already cemented his legacy. Jordan already cemented his legacy. Those guys can't necessarily go down too much more, in my opinion. They've already earned their stripes. So I actually think vintage is a safe play right now.
Yeah, man, you're making me feel old to think that 1996 card is considered vintage now. But I will tell you this. So I was not collecting in 1996. I was not into sports cards then. I was into Pokemon. So long story short, though, I got a chance to see a few of these at the Dallas show during COVID. That's like some of the times when I really started going into 90s cards a little bit more. What's so unique about this card is it's a see-through acetate. It's the first year that they ever made credentials, Skybox credentials. Obviously, it all coincides with his rookie year. It went on for about 7-8 years, but it's like a see-through acetate. And then if you go around the border, there's like a silver border. And if you ever hold one of these cards, that's like credentials made, or Skybox made this card to be, this is the card of the future. That was the thing that they were wanting to embody. And so obviously I know it's out of 499, right? But there's not that many that are in a 9.5. I think I'll pull it up right here on alt. I think it's very few. Yeah, there's only 9.5s in existence and only 4 PSA 10s. So I've seen quite a few run on a PSA 9 or a BGS 9, but a 9.5 really hard to find. Potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the only 9.5 you'll see all year.
Yeah, I mean, especially in today's age, we talk about like grail cards, and like sometimes we see the same cards getting run often on different auction houses, whether it's us, Golden, PWCC. So this is a cool one that I think is unique because you don't see this every day. This is sort of one of those actual real grails that doesn't pop up very often.
It's right at a little over 1 year ago that this a 9.5 was ever run. So this card hasn't been sold publicly all year, and so I feel like in the way that auctions are going and how people are getting fatigued with seeing the same kind of card, this might be one of those where it's like you might not see this again until mid to late next year, or not until maybe 2024.
Exactly, especially with such a low pop count. There's only so many that can be run so often. So this is one of them. So if you want this card, this is now your chance to get it while you have a chance. And then I think lastly, just continuing on the basketball and the GOAT themes, is we have the LeBron Michael Jordan Authentics dual autograph patch. I know Sheik is a big LeBron fan, so he can probably talk more about this card. I was just telling them before you hopped in that you actually moved to LA, so you're going to be in the area and try and catch a few games this season too, right?
Yeah, I'm officially now in SoCal. So Orange County to be particular, but I'm sure I'll see a lot of collectors nearby. I unfortunately did not see that. Like, I think a lot of my friends were all spread out all throughout the country for sports cars, but I seem to have a lot that were naturally from California. So hopefully, I can make a lot of newer contacts while I'm here, and maybe you can hit me up when I go to Burbank next.
Yeah.
This card.
So lots of
Go ahead.
yeah, especially with like the West Coast LeBron guys. So that should be a fun one to monitor as well. And I think these are, as Sheik was saying, these are a big deal because they don't pop up as often. They're sort of these grail cards that collectors really seek. So if you want a chance to come grab them now you have it now. In terms of like more modern players right now, we want to talk about some market trends right now.
Hey,
Bryce
Brendan,
Harper.
can I give a quick thing about this Jordan LeBron before we move on?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so you guys have been seeing on Instagram. There's an account called Card Channel. I am not like personal friends with him. We just talk from time to time, but I really like what he's doing. He actually is going deep into the data, which I think you all know on this channel. Like we are really into the data at Alt, and he is going in and he is reviewing patch quality for these kind of like big cards. So he has gone in and reviewed like Jordan LeBron, how many dual autos there are, how many dual auto jerseys there are, how many dual auto patches there are. So what's interesting about this card is it's a PSA 10. And if you haven't heard already, you should know this by now. Vertical cards sell for more than horizontal cards. It's just, I think, the way eye appeal is working. And so this card has sold in multiple grades all over the place, but this is the first time in a long time a PSA 10 is available. So I expect it to do great numbers because of that rarity, and it is a game-used jersey. That's so important that it's not a patch, it's a jersey, but it's a game use of both players on card autos. I really think like if you are like I'm very big of a stickler for game used jerseys on cards, on card autos. If you have that, and then I won't speak to Brendan because I know he's a Golden State guy, but I think LeBron and Jordan are 1 and 2. Jordan being 1, I'm being realistic, but so for me, I wish I could go after this card, but it's going to be too expensive for me. It's already got a bid. It's at $30,000. It's got a bid.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I as much as I love my Golden State Warriors, I think Curry I think will go down as the greatest shooter of all time. I don't think that's necessarily up for debate. But in terms of just overall players, like Curry's got a way to go until he becomes that GOAT status.
We have a chrome refractor in this auction, a 9.5. It's a quad gem. I think this last championship, he got pushed into my top 10 all time from this last championship. And I think, who knows, Brendan, you're getting spoiled up there. He could win another one for you.
Yeah, I think, the knock on him last year and the years before was that he got like carried and he'd never won the finals MVP before. It was always Durant. Then one year it was Iguodala. So that was sort of the haters' knock on him. But now he finally got that. So he got the monkey off his back. They didn't look that great against the Suns this past week, but it's still early in the regular season, and when it comes down to it in the playoffs, they perform. So
yeah. I want to just share my screen, Brendan. I know you wanted to talk about baseball. Feel free to talk about Bryce Harper. I want to talk about this card. Like, I am not a baseball collector, but I see this card. I'm like, this would be, if I was going to collect baseball, this would be where I would like to start. Right here, this is the card. It's a 2017 Topps Dynasty Duel. It's in our auction now. It's at $1,900. It's Derek Jeter Ichiro, PSA 10. to 1 of 1. And I mean, the only thing that could have made this a little bit nicer is maybe if they switched the Ichiro patch with the Jeter, because when you think Jeter, you think Yankees, you think Captain, like you want that logo. But this is pretty nice. And I don't know. There's got to be some baseball collectors out there that will want this card. If my screen will
Yeah,
work, there we go.
absolutely. So it's one of those iconic cards. Like sometimes we talk about the word card, like you're a buzz card. Like this is sort of, or like a Grail, for instance. This would be one of those cards that I would consider myself, to go after, if I was a big baseball collector. It is interesting though that the teams in the World Series right now, Houston versus Philadelphia, those two
Yeah.
teams are actually playing against each other next week on Thursday Night Football. So
Mhm.
it'll be a really big sports weekend for Houston versus Philly.
Well, you know what? Like we talk about when to buy things, and I think now, it's probably the best time to get your baseball buying started. Like we're still 3 months away at least until spring training gets talked about, but I'm sure people have started buying last month a little bit, this month a little bit more. I can totally foresee going into November, people will be mass buying baseball cards.
Yeah, absolutely. I know like one person that I'm looking to buy this off season is like Otani. And he
Mhm.
just has a massive market. I know his prices will probably come down a little bit, just because they're not playing right now. So now is probably the time, or in the next month or so, is probably the time to start buying baseball.
Yeah.
Especially all these prospects as well that are going to be up and coming, making some noise in the spring training. So, guys that were September call ups, go get their gold refractors right now while they're cheap.
Mhm.
So you can find the
What?
next touch, you can find the next Soto, or you can find the next Trout. They're out there. You just got to find them.
Uh, Bernie's saying, "My Tatis and Soto, thank me later." I do want to say one thing, and this is, I'm a learner, right? If I'm not buying baseball, I'm still paying attention to it. I know all the main sets. I know most of the main prices on all the main guys, but when I look at like the amount of basketball that has come through in the last 3 or 4 years, right? And I'm a big believer that we are unfortunately potentially could be in the junk slab era. I'm always shocked at how much autographs the baseball players are willing to do. And so I wonder, and I don't know this, but maybe we can bring somebody on that's more of a grapher or something like that. But I wonder if the dynamic is baseball players know that as a part of their culture to sign autographs on these things. And they really believe in that from the decades that they have had this. So I look at the sheer volume of all the Bowman Chromes, the prospect autos, all of that. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, maybe they really like this part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's also cool to see like someone of like GOAT status is like Mike Trout, who is such
Uh-huh.
an avid collector himself. Like, I think that brings great news to the hobby. Anytime there's someone of his status or caliber that is like a huge card nut, that
Uh-huh.
definitely helps as well. So, I mean, we see it all the time. Like Marlon Humphrey in the NFL is a big collector. Like there's all these athletes too that are big time collectors. I know a linebacker on the Raiders, Blake Martinez, like last
Uh-huh.
couple weeks, he bought $1 million Pokemon card. So it's cool to see these guys, in the spotlight and buying such cool cards and promoting the hobby.
Yeah. And Phillies were not supposed to get there. I don't think they were the favorites, right? But they're
No,
there.
it's crazy. They actually fired their coach, Joe Girardi, midway through the season because they were doing
Uh-huh.
so poorly. And so this is an interim coach right now who's made the World Series.
Yeah, and so like it's interesting to see what Bryce Harper's cards are probably now worth. They've probably jumped like crazy. And he was, I mean, when he was in the Nationals, like, right, he had a rise, then he had a lull, and then now it's back. I will say this, watch out, card community. This is going to be the first year I am going to do prospecting in baseball. Never done it before. But I think what I'm learning and what I seem to like about the prospecting for football and baseball is you can see their cards for years. And in basketball, you don't get it until after the rookie season's over. You don't get the flawless, the NTRPAs, all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to take a small portion of my collection and just be like, I want to prospect. I want to have fun. I want to see how the price will move, the movement, the excitement. And Brendan, I don't know about you, but a lot of times if a card goes from like 400 to 900 bucks, I'm way more excited than a card going from 10,000 to $12,000.
Yeah, it's cool, especially with these prospects. You see them at such like a young age. You kind of are like seeing them in the minor because there's a minor league system, so you can sort of see and track their development. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like in the NFL, they just go straight to the pros and they're just thrown straight into the fire. If you sort of find prospects that you see in Double A or Single A, and they work their way up to like high Double A or high Triple A, and then you end up getting that call to the major leagues, it's sort of like you feel a little like nostalgic and sentimental and like joy because like you've sort of followed them and like as you said, even if it's like a $500 jump,
Mm-hmm.
$400 to $900, it's like I do feel the same way. As I think that's cooler to me than like an NTRPA football card jumping up a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I like about it is everyone has so many opinions. Okay, let's take a look at this rookie class, this basketball rookie class. If we start saying Banchero, Ivy, and Matherin, then maybe there might be five more names tops that somebody might bring into the conversation. But in,
Yep.
in baseball, I feel, and in even football, you know this for the quarterback system, there are so many names. And I think that kind of parity also drives those markets.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're sort of running out of time here, so just wanted to reiterate here, we are doing a giveaway. So if you screenshot this and post it to your story and tag our account, then you're entered into a chance to win $50 alt credit. And I feel like the last thing I want to say here before we hop off is something big on alt this week is that we don't require deposits anymore to offer on fixed exchange. So a lot of the times people would say, hey, I don't want to tie up $7,000 to offer on a card and it not be accepted. Now you can offer $7,000, and if it gets accepted, then you can initiate a deposit. So I think that'll end up, being a really good thing for us at all, and will make collectors happy as well.
Agreed. And then this will just allow you to, like, if the offer is accepted, what ends up happening is the buyer has 2 days to initiate payment. And if they initiate payment in that time, then the transaction is going to be complete once the money's on the account. If they don't initiate payment within the first 2 days, then the card goes back and the list gets listed on the exchange. So we want to make sure it's a more honor system. Want to make sure that like people pay on time when you have a card sold, so that we can make sure that the comp is actually good for people to use down the road. And I just want to leave you guys with a couple of things here. I'm starting to see, and I know Bernie's not going to like this because I'm talking about basketball, but I'm starting to see Giannis prices soar, and he's killing it in the games right now. And then there's only one other card I wanted to showcase, and it's quite unique. I'm not a big like fan of both of these players, but I think given if like what they've accomplished, it's kind of good. I just wanted to show this one last card off, and then I wanted to see what you thought, Brennan. This is a one of one of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and it's a
Oh yeah,
logo on
I
the
saw that
bottom.
one. This is a really cool card. It's cool too because a lot of the times on these dual cards, it's like
Yeah,
one player's maybe really good and then the other player's sort of like meh. So,
yeah,
but these are two top players. Like Jokic is back-to-back MVP, and
yep.
like Murray is fantastic. He didn't play last year because he was injured and tore the ACL, but he's really stepped up and he's been playing really well the first start of the season. So I think this could be end up being a card that we see go over actually the alt value.
Yeah, I agreed. And if Chris Hodge is still on this call, I saw him there a little bit ago. He's like the biggest Jokic fan, so I'll probably be sending him this link right after this live to see if he wants to go bid on this card. But essentially, um, I'm excited to see what the Jordan Fleer does and the Kobe Credentials does. But we're getting into the part of the season where it's like midway and everyone's getting ready for baseball and maybe some football playoff time.
Absolutely. Thanks again for hosting with me. This was fun. I hope you guys got some good knowledge within the industry. And if you ever have questions, feel free to shoot us DMs. And thanks, guys. We'll see you next Thursday.